Welcome to the Frontline Herbalism podcast with your host Nicole Rose from the Solidarity Apothecary. This is your place for all things plants and liberation. Let's get started.
Hello, welcome back to the Frontline Herbalism podcast. This is just a little courtesy episode to remind you that the Herbalism, PTSD and Traumatic Stress course closes today. Da-da-la! So yeah, get the fuck on it. No, I'm just joking. So today's the day, basically. It's crunch time in terms of deciding if you're fucking up for joining now. It is open again at the end of September for anyone who is like, I don't want to fucking use this like capitalist fucking scarcity marketing tactics. Do you know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, it's fucking closing. So yeah, last chance to dance. I'm going to talk through a couple of reasons if you're still on the fence about why it may be a transformational experience for you to join it. I will put in the show notes as well links to like several other podcasts where I've talked about the course in much more depth. Unfortunately, it's a Sunday, so it's like quite difficult for me childcare wise, but my amazing fucking glorious assistant Chantel from Herbs, Roots and Remedies will hopefully be online, like checking emails and things. If you have any trouble joining it, as long as you email the support at solidarityApothecary.org or the info account within the time frame of when I'm going to close it, we will fucking make sure that you like get access. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want people losing sleep over some problem at checkout and not being able to join it. So please just drop us an email if you're struggling in any way. And yeah, as soon as Bubs is at nursery, touch wood, I hate saying that because then he'll get a fever or something, but Monday morning, I'm going to take it offline, take it off the website, so it's not possible to join. It is annoying having to do open and close enrollments, but the reason I do that is because I don't want to be fucking marketing every day of my life and doing this much high energy promotion because I want to be a herbalist who supports people experiencing state violence, which means I want to do one-to-one support with folks via the Black Flag Herbal Clinic, via my clinic. I want to make medicine. I want to get hundreds of care packages out. I want to get thousands of books to prisoners out. I want to fucking do what the Solidarity Apothecary does best. So having it open and closed in these periods means that I can focus on it for a short time and then I can, kind of like wrap things up, make sure everyone that's signed up has access, like troubleshoot any problems, like answer this new influx of people and their questions about the course and stuff. Like, so yeah, it's kind of, that's why it's like that, if that makes sense. And I do think there is an element of like, encouraging people to make a decision. Like, I'm fucking terrible. Like, if a course is available all year long, it will just sit on my like wish list. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, but I'm just going to quickly, while baby boy is having a bath, someone else is giving him a bath. I'm not doing this while he's in the bath. That would be very neglectful. I'm just going to run through a couple of the reasons why, yeah, you should join the course if you're interested. So you can, I'm just reading this from the course page, by the way, you can develop a personal plant medicine practice, right? So besides all the trauma stuff, you can learn how to create your own herbal remedies for nervous system support, especially. You can learn tincture making and herbal teas and oils and glycerites. And yeah, you can master the practical skills to build this like epic personalized herbal medicine cabinet that can support you through a lifetime of experiences. And I know it's difficult with online courses to get that actual practical confidence, but fucking loads of people have worked through this course and given the feedback that from my instructions, they felt confident enough to, gain the confidence in like safely harvesting and preparing and working with plants. So yeah, I do think it gives that to a lot of people who are kind of happy to follow like basic instructions and then just have a go. And, you can email me with any troubleshooting questions. And yeah, it's just like a fantastic introduction to herbalism to help you, develop those medicine making skills and build that kind of apothecary for yourself and other people. And then, in terms of trauma, like, you can, through this course, understand trauma through a liberation lens. So there is a structure and recorded, course lectures about the reductionist nature of trauma and, frameworks such as kind of like faulty brain chemistry, for example. And you can explore how systemic oppression shapes our bodies and our nervous systems while learning empowering frameworks that honor your experiences. You'll gain a deep understanding of how trauma manifests physically, from sleep disruption to chronic inflammation, and how plants can support healing on multiple levels. The thing I get the most feedback on in this course is the trauma content, in the sense of people are like, fucking hell, I needed that framework. Like, it just brings it all together. And I think, I can't remember who it was, I'm sorry, off the top of my head, but someone wrote in a recent testimonial, they were like, I've realized that my body has saved its own life like hundreds of times over. And, you can go from like pathologizing yourself that you are broken and fucked up and all of these things, and actually just realizing that, like, no, you have been in a survival mode, in a state that is completely makes sense in terms of evolution and survival. But that, you don't have to stay kind of stuck in that state, and you can shift states, hopefully with support from herbal medicines. Okay, learn the language of the nervous system. So you'll develop an in-depth knowledge of nervous system physiology and nervous system states that can help you make sense of how you are feeling and enable you to choose the plant medicines your body would be strengthened by. Being able to understand, describe, and communicate to others how we are feeling can be truly revolutionary. And I wrote about this in an email yesterday where I shared like my biggest fucking regret in life. And that is basically spending my 20s and half of my 30s, well, maybe not half, the first few years, being really fucking traumatized, being in a state of traumatic stress because of so much internal distress in my landscape, like in my inner landscape, and how developing a language that can help me name how I'm feeling, understand what's going on, is just fucking life-changing, because that's how we can then, learn the tools to shift out of it. And I know now when I'm triggered, and I know when I'm in like safe or social and I'm feeling, kind of, I hate the word regulated, but you know what I mean? Like I'm being able to connect with other people and plants and take care of myself and have clear, like, quality thinking. And I'm not living this intensely kind of like trauma-driven life because of this kind of like unresolved, unintegrated traumatic stress. Fucking side note on that, lots of people are in a fucking traumatized state because they have to be, because they're living in like an active fucking war zone or a place of fucking genocide, or just, like in prison, and it is kind of, like dog eat dog survival. So understanding those nervous system states can help us understand, like systemic oppression as well. So anyway, I'm not saying that, oh my God, I'm going off on one, but I talk about this loads in the course about how for a lot of people, there isn't this kind of like post aspect of traumatic stress, and, how we can kind of like interrogate the concept of PTSD, for example. Anyway, side rant. But having that language of the nervous system is fucking life-changing. What else is life-changing is building a life-changing relationship with plants. So discovering how the more than human world can offer connection and stability when you've had your trust in humans shattered. So learning to develop long-term reciprocal relationships with plants that go beyond just like taking medicines. And through foraging, growing, and medicine-making practices, you'll create meaningful connections that support you through life's challenges. With plants, you are never alone. So, this is the mainstay of my herbal practice. It is all about fucking relationships. It isn't just a herb that we take that helps, our nervous system feel different. It is that life-changing relationship with plants where we know their names and we know what they look like, and we can sit with them and we can fucking talk with them and we can harvest them and, make nourishing meals with them. It is a relational experience that humans and plants have had since the dawn of fucking time, and it is only fucking colonialism and capitalism and all these systems of oppression that have just fucking severed that connection to the more than human world and to plants especially. So this course is one route back to that, if that makes sense. Okay, skillfully navigate nervines. So the big focus of the course is about nervines. So these are plants with a, specific affinity for the nervous system. And through this course, you can learn which herbs can help with different manifestations of traumatic stress, from anxiety to sleeplessness to emotional flooding and dissociation. And you'll learn how to match specific plants to your unique constitution and needs. So in all of my plant profiles, I go into depth about how to work with that plant. Like, is that a plant that has an affinity with people that are in a more like frozen shutdown state, or is it more like reducing the level of like fight and flight in someone's system? Like which herbs can support like panic attacks specifically, like which herbs have more of an affinity with nightmares, which are more for people that are like depressed, like there's like so much fucking nuance here. Like it's not just, oh, this herb is for anxiety. It's like, well, what is that anxiety caused by? Like what's going on for that person? How can that trauma be kind of like reframed? And also, like all the kind of, other collective responses to traumatic stress are included in the course. So we look at what is the role of, mutual aid, what is the role of like resistance, like fuck me, like I want fucking child abuse to be fucking stopped. I don't want to support anyone else who's been through childhood fucking abuse. So it's like we can't just heal and recover ourselves and work with herbs and have this life-changing experience. Like we need to like funnel that energy into like ending this fucking root cause of this fucking oppression. Oh my god. Okay. And finally, develop herbal resilience for collective liberation. So in a world full of injustice and oppression that can be deeply traumatizing, we need plant medicines more than ever. Connect with plant medicine traditions that have supported human healing for generations. Learn how these time-tested practices can help us navigate contemporary struggles from climate change to state violence. You'll discover how plants can help us build resilience while working toward collective liberation. So in every fucking lesson, I'm quoting like all different authors. I'm sharing links so that you can buy their books, so you can follow their work. I'm sharing research papers. Like there's a whole fucking drive of resources of people's voices who have contributed to, connecting these dots to collective liberation. And, like herbalism is just like one part of that picture, if that makes sense. But a big part of the course is, just like sharing examples from my organizing in my life of when, we worked with Valerian and, in this case and blah, 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 supporting these people fleeing this invasion, or when we work with this herb in Calais and blah, blah, blah. Like I share a lot of that like rich embodied life experience with these herbs and how they have shown up for people experiencing distress. So it's not just kind of like theoretical knowledge, like it's lived embodied knowledge. And that's something that comes up in testimonials a lot. It's like how much people appreciate that nuance and that depth. Okay, I'm going to stop talking because my bubs is coming back. But yeah, just again, last chance to enroll. Please don't miss it if you're interested in joining. I have to be a really horrible, like boundaried person after it's closed and just be like, I'm really sorry, I can't let you do it. Which isn't the easiest for me and my, people pleaser tendencies. But, sorry, I hate the term people pleaser. It's very patriarchal, isn't it? It's like, fucking hell. Anyway, side rant. But yeah, no one is turned away for lack of funds. There's a whole podcast episode about that as well. I will put a link in the show notes to all the other episodes talking about the course, all the other things you need. And yeah, don't fucking miss it. If you're curious about it, if you're interested, if you want to just become a fucking plant geek, not gonna lie, plant geeks are fucking hot, right? So rock and roll. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now. I think I'm a bit hyper. I've had like 4 coffees today because I was visiting the baby daddy with my son. So haven't, left the village in a long time. So I'm like, woo. Oh my God, I'm going to stop talking. But yeah, please join the course if you're interested and I will be back soon. Take care.
Thanks so much for listening to the Frontline Herbalism podcast. You can find the transcript, the links, all the resources from the show at solidarityapothecary.org/podcast.